Hey everybody, it's time for another attempt at APBA Baseball. Just received the 1986 season set that I bought off eBay, and I'm going to give it a go here with a regular season game that occurred on April the 26th of 1986, and it's going to involve the National League West Division, and it's going to be played at the Houston Astrodome as the Houston Astros host Pete Rose and the Cincinnati Reds. And we'll be right back with the starting lineups and the start of the ball game. Okay, let's take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, for the Cincinnati Reds, leading off and playing center field will be Eddie Milner. Batting second and playing left field is Max Venable. Batting third is the Cobra, Dave Parker. He'll be hitting third. Batting cleanup at first base is Nick Isaski. Batting fifth and playing third base is Buddy Bell. Batting sixth and playing shortstop is Kurt Stillwell. Batting seventh and catching is Sal Butera. Batting eighth and playing second base, Ron Oster. And on the mound, batting ninth for the Reds is right-hander Bill Gullickson. Gullickson is a B-grade pitcher, and he also has the Z quality. All right, let's take a look at the Astros and their starting lineup. Leading off will be second baseman Bill Doran. Batting second in right field is Terry Poole. Batting third in left field is Jose Cruz. Batting cleanup at first base is Glenn Davis. Batting in the fifth position is center fielder Kevin Bass. Batting sixth is the third baseman Denny Walling. Hitting in seventh is catching Alan Ashby. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, Dickie Thon. And batting ninth and pitching is right-hander Mike Scott. He is a grade A pitcher, and he has the X, Y, and Z qualities. So we'll get ready to get this game going. The actual score in the real-life game was won by Houston 1-0 in the bottom of the ninth. So obviously both pitchers were on that day, and we'll see if that carries forward to this replay of the ball game. So we're ready to go here, and interestingly enough, the Reds have three players that are considered fast and one considered slow. The Astros have three considered fast and three considered slow. Both teams defensively, the Reds are a total of 38. The Astros a total of 37. That puts them both in fielding column number 2. So when that's called for, we'll move over to fielding column 2 and put down the results. All right, leading off the ball game, it'll be Eddie Milner, the center fielder for the Reds. He's playing today instead of Eric Davis. That's the way Pete Rose did it for his lineup that day. So we'll try it out and see how it goes. First pitch here, there's a leak in the Astrodome because sunlight is coming through, but we're going to go through it anyway. Here's Eddie Milner. It's a 64, and for Eddie Milner, a 64 is a 13. That is a strikeout for Mike Scott, probably the first of many. And that wasn't even because of Mike Scott. That was because of Milner. All right, one away, and Max Venable, the batter. Venable, a 32. A 32 is a 26. If we go to fielding column number 2, cross-reference 26, that is a ground ball to second. So Venable grounds to Bill Doran for out number 2. 2 away, and that brings up the right fielder Dave Parker. Parker, a 42. 42 for Parker is a 40, and a 40 in fielding column number 2 is a foul. It's just a foul ball, so Parker has one strike on him, and he'll step back in the batter's box. It is a 65. 65 is a 35, and a 35 in fielding column number 2 is a ground out to the first baseman unassisted. So Glenn Davis will take it to the bag himself. And the Reds are gone 1-2-3 here in the top of the first inning. We go to the bottom of the first, it's the Reds nothing and the Astros coming to bat. And leading off for the Astros will be second baseman Bill Doran. Doran steps to the plate. And we get a 12. A 12 is a 25. 25 is a ground ball to second unless the pitcher has an X quality, which he does not. So it's a simple 4-3 ground out for Bill Doran. One away. And that brings up the right fielder, Terry Poole. Terry Poole, a 23. 23 is a 32. And a 32 is a fly out to right field. So he flies out to Parker in right field for out number 2. And that'll bring up Jose Cruz. Jose K.O. Cruz, I think. Cheo Cruz, I think was his nickname. C-H-E-O. All right, Jose Cruz, left fielder. It's a 13. And a 13 is a 14. And a 14 is a base on balls. So it's a walk. Gullickson was a Z pitcher, but you have to be a double Z pitcher to prevent that. So it's a walk to Jose Cruz. 2-out walk, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, first baseman Glenn Davis. And we will shift over to the runner on first base chart for Glenn Davis under fielding column 2. The result is a 12. A 12 is a 25. 25, fielding column 2, says double play, but there's already 2 outs, so it's simply going to be a fielder's choice, 4 to 6, to retire Cruz sliding into second base. And the inning's over. And after 1 complete, we are scoreless here in Houston. And Cincinnati, will see if they can't get their offense going a little bit better than what they did in the first inning. They were 3 up, 3 down, retired in the first. So right now, Nick Isaski, the batter. It's a 51. 51 is a 14, and a 14 is a base on balls. So it's a walk to Isaski. And again, the pitcher, Scott, had a Z quality, but you need a double Z to stop that walk. So there's a leadoff batter on for the Reds, and now Buddy Bell steps to the plate as we go to the runner on first chart in the book. And the pitch is a 60, or the result's a 65. That's a 35. And a fielding column 2, number 35, is a foul out. So it's a foul out to the catcher. So Buddy Bell pops it up. Buddy Bell pops it up. And Alan Ashby puts it away. Had a little trouble with my pencil there. Buddy Bell pops it up, and Alan Ashby puts it away, 1 away. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Kurt Stillwell. And ever since the movie League of Their Own came out, I always call him Kurt Stillwell Angel. So I'll go with it. Kurt Stillwell Angel steps to the plate. It's a 55. Maybe gave him some good karma for a double. 55 is a 9, but a 9 on a grade A pitcher still says single, beats out infield hit. So it's a base hit for Kurt Stillwell, an infield variety. Isaski will move to second base. So runners are at first and second with 1 out. And that will bring up the catcher, Sal Butera. So Sal Butera will be batting. And we move to the runner on first and second chart for Butera as they put a threat against Mike Scott here in the second inning. Here's Butera. It's a 65. That's a 35. And a 35 on fielding column 2. A 35 is once again a foul out to the catcher. So that's the second foul out to the catcher in this inning. 2 down. And that will bring up the second baseman, Ron Oster, number 8 hitter in the lineup. Ron Oster. It's a 45. 45 for Oster is a 14. And a 14 is a base on balls. Well, wait a minute. It says here a Z pitcher, not just double Z, but a Z pitcher will make it 2 balls. So hold the phone. That is not a walk. Scott has the Z rating, so it's a 2-ball count on Oster, and we'll try it again. It's a 24. 24 is a 13, and he comes back and strikes out Ron Oster to end the inning. So the Reds threaten, but are unable to produce. we go to the bottom of the second. Still no score, and we'll be right back with the bottom of the second. All right, we're back to the bases empty chart for Kevin Bass. Batter. Bass, a 55. He gets a double. 55 is an 8. And Bill Gullickson, a B-rated pitcher. B-rated pitcher, an 8 is a fly out to center field. So 1 away. Kevin Bass flies out to center. Out number 1. And that'll bring up third baseman Denny Walling. Walling, a 46. 46 for Walling is a 32. We go to fielding column number 2 under 32, and that's a fly out to right field. So 2 down very quickly for the Astros, and that'll bring up catcher Alan Ashby. 2 outs, bases empty. Ashby, a 45. 45 is a 14. And a 14 is a walk. So it's a 2-out walk to Alan Ashby. And that will bring up the shortstop, Dickie Thon, as we move to the runner on first chart. Dickie Thon. It's a 23. 23 is a 30. Fielding column 2, number 30, is a fly out to left field to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Astros here in the second. And after 2 complete from Houston, we are scoreless. And we'll go to the we'll go to the top of the third. Okay, before I get going in the top of the third, I did want to give out 2 shout outs. One to Ron Empsch. He was gracious enough to email me the score sheet that he uses. And it's a score sheet I really like the design of. And if I can get it out of the shadows here, I don't know. But I really like the setup of the score sheet, and I really enjoy it. It's nice and tidy. And it's for APBA baseball. It's, I think, one of the better score sheets to use. And also wanted to throw a shout out to Earl from his Tabletop Baseball channel for playing the APBA baseball tournament that really got me going to want to, pull out the APBA game and actually buy a season set off eBay. So I didn't think I would do that either, but here I am. Okay, we're starting the top of the third. National League, so pitchers are hitting. So Bill Gullickson steps to the plate. Bill Gullickson. It's a 62, and a 62 is a 29. 29 on fielding column 2 is going to be a strikeout because Mike Scott has the X quality. So it is a strikeout. Bill Gullickson with the whiff. Bill Gullickson with the whiff. All right, Eddie Milner, top of the order. 41. 41 for Milner is a 12. And a 12 on fielding column 2 is a ground ball to third. So there's 2 away very quickly. And that will bring up Max Venable. Max Venable, the batter, the left fielder. He grounded to second his first time up. See what he can do against Mike Scott this time. It's a 65. 65 is a 35. And a 35 on fielding 2 is a ground ball to the first baseman unassisted. And the inning is over. All right, we go to the bottom of the third. And leading off for the Astros is pitcher Mike Scott against Gullickson. It's a 24. 24 is a 13, and that is a strikeout. So Mike Scott takes the whiff. 1 away, and top of the order, Bill Doran. Bill Doran, a 12. 12 is a 25. 25 under fielding column 2 is a ground ball to second base. Ground ball to second base, a 4-3 ground out. That's the second time Doran has done that. Quickly 2 away, and the right fielder, Terry Poole, the batter. Terry Poole, a 65. 65 is again a 35, which on a 35 is a ground out to first base unassisted. So Nick Asaski makes that play. Inning is over, and we've completed 3 from Houston with the score. Well, there is no score. It's Cincinnati nothing and Houston nothing. Okay, top of the fourth, Dave Parker to lead things off. He grounded to first in his first at bat. It's a 46. 46 is a 13, and he is struck out. So Mike Scott with another strikeout. One away for the cleanup hitter, Nick Isaski, the first baseman. He walked his first time up. It's a 46. 46 is a 13, so that's a strikeout as well. So back-to-back strikeouts for Mike Scott here in the top of the fourth, and that'll bring up Buddy Bell. Bell, a 43, and a 43 for Bell is a 29. 29 on fielding column 2 is another strikeout. Since Scott has the X quality, that will be a strikeout, and he has struck out the side. Nothing doing for the Reds here in the fourth. We go to the bottom of the fourth, still no score. And Jose Cruz, the left fielder, will be leading things off for Houston. Cruz walked his first time up. It's a 34, and a 34 is a 31. 31 is a fly out to center field. So Cruz flies out to center, one away, and that'll bring up Glenn Davis. It's a 26. 26 is a 13, so Glenn Davis is out on strikes. 2 down. As this game is rolling along here, Kevin Bass. Bass, a 53. 53 is a 15. Fielding 2, number 15, is a single to left field. So it's a single to left field. Fielding column 1, that would have been an out, but in fielding column 2, that's going to fall in for a base hit. So a 2-out single for Kevin Bass, and that will bring up Denny Walling. And we'll move to the runner on first chart for Denny Walling. Walling, a 21. 21 is a 30. Fielding column 2, number 30, is a fly out to left to end the inning. So, nothing doing for the Astros. We go to the fifth, still no score. All right, Kurt Stillwell to lead off the top of the fifth. It is a 52, and a 52 is a 27. 27 in fielding column 2 is going to be a strikeout since there's an X quality there. So Mike Scott, 4th strikeout in a row for Mr. Scott. And there's one away for Sal Butera. Butera, a 13. 13 is a 14. That is going to be a walk. So that is a walk to Butera. And we'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Ron Oster. Ron Oster. And again, we need to move the chart to the runner on first base. All right, Ron Oster. A 53. 53 is an 18. Great. Fielding column 2, number 18, is first on an error by the shortstop. So Ron Oster, error on Dickie Thon, and that will allow Butera to make second base. Runners at first and second on the error by Dickie Thon. So now we got runners at first and second with the pitcher coming up, Bill Gullickson. With 1 out, don't know if they would want to sacrifice, but they might. So I think that's what they're going to do. Pete Rose is calling for the sacrifice bunt. So here we go. Sacrifice bunt chart. Runner on first and second. So I need to get to the correct sacrifice bunt chart. Runner on first and second, sacrifice bunt chart. Here we go. All right, here's Gullickson to lay down the bunt. And it's a 14. That's a 30. So a 30 says out at first, runners advance. Out at first, runners advance. Now I need to pause the video because there is a little symbol here, and I'm not sure what that represents. So I have to look in the book and see what that's talking about. I'll be right back. Okay, what that symbol meant was just that you don't charge the person who bunted the ball an official at bat, which was to me obvious, but I guess for people that don't know the rules of baseball, they might not be sure about that. But that's what that's talking about. So runners are at second and third now with 2 outs for Eddie Milner. So we're on the runners at second and third chart. For Eddie Milner, who's 0 for 2. It's a 22. That's a good sign for the Reds. 22 was a 0, so they're going to break onto the scoreboard, I do believe. We'll re-roll for Milner. And it's a 44. 44 for Milner is a 2. A 2 is a triple. I'm sorry, a 2 over a pitcher is a triple to extreme left field. So Eddie Milner has just hit a 2-out triple, and all 3 runs are unearned, or all 2 runs, I should say, are unearned thanks to the error by Dickie Thon. But the Reds don't care. They'll take it. They will take it. A 2-run triple for Eddie Milner, and the Reds grab a 2-0 lead. And Mike Scott is not very happy right now about that. Here's Max Venable. 36. 36 is a 33. And a 33 is a pop out to the third baseman. So it's pop out to third to end the inning. But the damage was done thanks to the triple by Eddie Milner. And we go to the bottom of the 5th with the score. The Reds 2 and the Astros nothing. And the Astros will have their work cut out for them to try to get back in this ball game. Alan Ashby, the catcher, steps to the plate. Ashby, a 61. 61 for Ashby is a 24. And a 24 is a ground out to the shortstop. So it's a 6-3 ground out for Ashby. 1 away. And that'll bring up the aforementioned Dickie Thon, who made that big error. So he will try to atone for that. That's a 24. 24 is a 13, so he does not atone for that. He strikes out. So not a good day so far for Dickie Thon. 2 outs, base is empty. They're going to go and let Mike Scott hit for himself, obviously. No sense pinch hitting. Plus, he's a good pitcher. 35. 35 is a 13. He strikes out. So nothing doing for the Astros in the 5th. We go to the top of the 6th. Reds still lead it by the score of 2-0. And Dave Parker, Big Dave Parker, will lead things off for the Reds. It is a 23. 23 for Parker is a 32. 32 off of the fielding 2 chart is a fly ball to right field. So 1 away. And that will bring up Nick Esaski. Esaski, a 35. 35 is a 14, so Esaski will walk. So another walk issued by Mike Scott. That is walk number 3 on the ball game. And we'll move over to runner at first for Buddy Bell. It's an 11. It's an 11. That's a 4. A 4 under grade A pitcher is a triple to left. So it's yet another triple by the Reds. And that will be another run. It is now a 3-0 ball game as Buddy Bell has just tripled home Nick Esaski. So the preceding walk comes in to score. And Buddy Bell, with a 1-out triple, is now 3-0. We move over now to the runner on third base. And, of course, the infield will have to come in. They can't afford any more runs to come in. Here's Kurt Stillwell. Stillwell, a 36. Mike Scott needs a strikeout. 33 on the chart. So, fielding column 2, a number 33. Fly out, runner scores. But the Y quality, Mike Scott has the Y quality, so it is a strikeout. Not a sacrifice fly. It is a strikeout. Thanks to Mike Scott's Y quality. And that is a big strikeout to keep the runner from scoring. There's 2 outs, a runner at third for Sal Butero. It's a 55, another doubles. 55 is an 8. An 8 on the grade A pitcher is a single, and the runner scores. So 4-0 Reds now, as the base hit by Sal Butera brings home Buddy Bell. It is 4-0, and who'd have thunk that against Mike Scott? But the doubles have been kind to the Reds, and Pete Rose is loving it. All right, runner at first, 2 outs for Ron Oster. It's a 15. 15 is a 10, and a 10, grade A pitcher, single to right center, runner to third, and the batter steals second on the next pitch. How about that? All right, we got a single for Oster, and that will move Butera to third, and then he steals second. Oster steals second on the play. So now runners at second and third with 2 outs for the pitcher, Bill Gullickson. So Bill Gullickson is up, and we go to the runners on second and third chart. Runners on second and third, Bill Gullickson. It's a 51. 51 is a 13, and Mike Scott picks up the strikeout to end the madness there. 2 more runs for the Reds, and after 5.5, the score is Cincinnati 4 and Houston 0. And you talk about a team having their work cut out for them. Bill Doran will be set to start things off to see if they can't get a rally going here before it's too late. Here's Bill Doran to lead things off. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded to second twice. He's got a double. That'll help. 44. 44 is an 8. 44 is an 8. B pitcher Gullickson on an 8 is a fly out to center field, so it ended up not helping him. So he flies out to center for out number 1. And that will bring up Terry Poole. Terry Poole, the batter. It's a 36. 36 is a 33. Fielding column 2, 33 is a pop out to the second baseman. Pop out to the second baseman for out number 2. So 2 outs very quickly again. And here's Jose Cruz. Cruz, a 56, is a 13. That's a strikeout. So Bill Gullickson is out pitching Mike Scott badly in this game. 6 shutout innings for Gullickson. And after 6 complete, it's still Cincinnati in front 4-0. And they'll bring up the top of the order, and Eddie Milner. Still no activity in the Houston bullpen. It's an 11, another set of doubles. That's a 0. So we're going to re-roll again. And that might get the bullpen going now. It's a 56. That's a 7. And a 7 against a grade A pitcher is a single to right field. So Eddie Milner, leadoff single. And you wonder how much longer they're going to go with Mike Scott. Well, we have our answer. Mike Scott has now been lifted. We will come back with the new pitcher and give the line on Mike Scott. Okay, for Mike Scott, a shaky outing to say the least. 6+ innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 were earned. Walked 3, struck out 9. He is responsible for Milner on base, so if Milner scores, that will add to his total. And the new Houston pitcher is going to be Charlie Kerfeld. So Charlie Kerfeld, he's a B grade pitcher with an X as his rating. And he'll be facing Max Venable with a runner on first and nobody out. See if he can get out of this. Looking for the double play ball. It's a 12. 12 is a 25. Fielding column 2, 25. And right on cue, we have a double play ball. 4-6-3 double play. So just like that, you asked for it, you got it. Toyota. So there's 2 down very quickly. Maybe showing my age referencing that commercial. All right. Dave Parker is batting with the bases empty and 2 outs. Parker's 0 for 3. It's a 26. 26 is a 24. And a 24 is grounded to the shortstop to end the inning. 6-3 ground out. So nothing doing for the Reds in the 7th. 7th inning stretch time here in Houston. Score still Reds 4 and the Astros nothing. And Glenn Davis will lead things off here against Bill Gullickson, who has been in control the whole way. Houston really hasn't even threatened. In fact, the Astros have not gotten a runner past first base in this game. 46. 46 is a 13. That's a strikeout. So Gullickson just on cruise control here. And that'll bring up Kevin Bass. Bass, a 12. 12 is a 25. And a 25 is a ground ball to second. Ground ball to second. 4-3 ground out. So 2 down. And Denny Walling, the batter. So Denny Walling is a 44. Finally, Houston gets a double. So 44 is a 7. And a 7 against a grade B pitcher is a single to right field. So a 2-out single for Denny Walling. And that'll bring up Alan Ashby. Alan Ashby. We'll go to runner on first chart. Alan Ashby. A 23. 23 just missed his double. 26. 26. Fielding column 2. Batter safe at first, fielder's choice. So it's a 4-6 fielder's choice ground out to end the inning. And that's going to do it for the Astros in the 7th. We go to the 8th. Still 4-0 in favor of the Reds. And Nick Isaski will be leading things off for Cincinnati. Nick Isaski. It's a 56. 56 is a 13, so he is out on strikes. So 1 away. And that will bring up Buddy Bell. Buddy Bell is 61. 61 is a 24. 24 is a ground ball to short. So ground ball to short for the second out. So quickly 2 up and 2 down here in the top of the 8th for Kurt Stillwell Angel. It's a 51. 51 is a 9. And a 9 on a B grade pitcher is a single. So Stillwell with a 2-out single, his second hit of the game. And that'll bring up Sal Butera, catcher. Sal Butera. Runner on the first chart. Butera, a 63. 63 is a 31. And a 31 is a fly out to center field. So Butera flies to center to end the inning. Nothing doing for the Reds here in the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Dickie Thon will lead things off. Then we'll get a pinch hitter for Kerfeld. And then we'll have the top of the order. So Dickie Thon, whose error kind of opened the floodgates back in the 5th, steps to the plate. Thon, a 46. 46 is a 13. He strikes out again. So Dickie Thon not having a good night. So that's 1 away, and now we'll get a pinch hitter for Charlie Kerfeld. And if we look at the Astros bench, we're going to be looking at Phil Scrap Iron Garner. So Phil Garner is going to pinch hit here. Phil Garner. He will pinch hit for Kerfeld. See what he can do. It's a 63. 63 is a 31. 31 bases empty. Fielding column 2 is a fly out to center field. So nothing doing there for Phil Garner. He is retired. Back to the bench he goes. And Bill Doran, leadoff hitter, 0 for 3. And he rolled a double, 33. So that's a 0. So Bill Doran trying to make some noise here. And he rolls a 42, which is a 6. So that's going to be a double to right center for Bill Doran. A 2-out double. 2-out double for Bill Doran. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Terry Poole. Terry Poole. And we have runner on second base. with 2 outs. Terry Poole. It's a 61. 61 is a 24. 24 on fielding column 2, runner on second base. 24 is a pop out to the shortstop. So that threat faded very quickly. Gullickson got out of that. And we go to the 9th with the score still Cincinnati 4 and Houston nothing. And we'll be right back with a new Houston pitcher. Okay, close the book on Charlie Kerfeld. 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs. He did get a strikeout. And the new Houston pitcher is Larry Anderson. And Anderson's a B-grade pitcher with a YZ quality. And he will be facing the bottom portion of the Reds' order. It's Ron Oster and then Gullickson. But I believe Pete Rose is going to actually insert himself in as a pinch hitter for Gullickson. So Gullickson's day will be done, and we'll get a new pitcher in the 9th for the Reds. But it's going to be Oster, Rose, and Milner. So player manager Pete Rose is going to insert himself in as a pinch hitter for Gullickson here in the 9th. So Pete Rose, pinch hitting. All right. It's first of all going to be Ron Oster stepping to the plate against Larry Anderson. New pitcher, new hitter coming up. 26. 26 is a 24. And a 24 on fielding column 2 is a ground out to the shortstop. So it's a 6-3 ground out for out number 1. And now that'll bring up Pete Rose. Pete Rose going to pinch hit here. And he rolls a 24. And that's a 13. So Pete strikes out. Pete with a strikeout. So Pete will go back to the bench and manage the rest of the way. And that'll bring up Eddie Milner. 24 for Eddie Milner. 24 for Eddie Milner is a 32. And a 32 is a fly out to right field. So that ends the inning. Nothing doing for the Reds here in the 9th. 1 perfect inning for Larry Anderson. He did pick up a strikeout. We go to the bottom of the 9th, and we'll be back with the new Reds pitcher in just a moment. Okay, we can close the book on Bill Gullickson. 8 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs allowed, walked 2, struck out 5. He certainly is in line to be the winner. And the new pitcher for the Reds is left-hander Rob Murphy. He is grade A and C, and he's also got a Y quality. So he's an AC pitcher, and he'll be facing the heart of the order for the Astros here in the 9th, Jose Cruz. So Jose Cruz is going to lead things off. And it's a 36. 36 is a 33, and a 33 is a strikeout because Rob Murphy has the Y quality. So Murphy strikes out Cruz for out number 1. And the Reds are 2 outs away from a shutout victory. Here's Glenn Davis. 64. 64 is a 41. And a 41 is first and second on an error by the pitcher. So, Rob Murphy with a 2-base error. He won. 2-base error. And now each team with an error. That was a 2-base error by Rob Murphy. Puts a runner on second now with 1 out for Kevin Bass. So Kevin Bass steps to the plate. It's a 54. 54 is a 32. A 32 is a fly out to right field. A fast runner would go to third. Glenn Davis does not resemble that remark. So he's going to stay at second for out number 2. And just as a side note, with all the pitching changes, that still did not change either of the team's fielding ratings. They both stayed above 36, and they did not get to 41. So they're both still grade quality number 2. All right, so Denny Walling, last chance for the Astros. It's a 41. 41 is a 12, and a 12 is a strikeout to end the ball game. So Rob Murphy had a little hiccup with that 2-base error, but otherwise he came in and did the job getting the strikeout. And that's going to do it as the Reds pull off a surprise 4-0 victory over Mike Scott and the Houston Astros. So we'll be right back with the totals. Okay, the totals on the game. Cincinnati with the victory 4-0 for the Reds. 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, and 6 left. For the Astros, no runs, 3 hits, 1 error, and also left 6 on base. Winning pitcher was Bill Gullickson. He pitched 8 shutout innings, allowing only the 3 hits. Walked 2, struck out 5. Mike Scott, the tough luck loser, gave up 6 hits and 4 runs in 6 innings, although only 2 of those were earned. He did strike out 9 while walking 3. The hitting stars of the game, Buddy Bell had a triple, RBI triple, but Eddie Milner, his 2-run triple in the 5th, really broke the 0-0 tie, and thanks to the error by Dickie Thon that's kept the inning going, Eddie Milner, that triple, put the Reds up 2-0, and then it was Isaski walking with Buddy Bell hitting another triple, and then Sal Butera singling in Buddy Bell for the final scoring of 4-0. The Astros threw 7 innings to not get a runner to second base. Finally, with 2 outs in the 8th, Doran doubled, and that's the only reason they got to second base. And then Glenn Davis in the 9th got to second on the error by Rob Murphy. So there it is. That's my first attempt at a regular season game. I just picked one out of the blue for APBA with the 1986 set. I've always enjoyed the 86 season. Has fond memories for me. I remember, in '86 I was still in service, so I was getting ready to get out, and definitely followed the baseball in '86 very closely, particularly when it got down to World Series time. So definitely enjoy those memories, and seeing these cards bring back some memories for some of these players that I may have forgotten about. But there it is, APBA baseball. Hopefully I didn't make any errors. I tried not to. Try to be really careful, make sure I was reading off column 2 for the fielding every time, and make sure that when the 0 rolls came up, it went to the second column. So I think it went pretty well, went pretty fast. I did have to stop the recording after 3 innings because the sun glare got to be too much for me. So I waited until a little bit later when it started to get darker, and this is optimal recording time right now with the just the lamp light giving all the light and the darkness outside, making the contrast. So that's going to do it from here. I got to get back to getting my History Maker Baseball Atlanta Braves 87 replay going again. Played 14 games out of 161 that are to be played. Right now I'm a little bit behind on putting the stats into the computer to tabulate, putting the box scores in or the score sheets in. So I've got to go do that. I also want to put out a video shortly on how to create players for History Maker Baseball and what is entailed with that. But for today, I decided to, since these came in the mail yesterday, I decided to give it a go with one of my 86 teams, 1986 season teams, and I just decided out of the blue to pick the Reds and the Astros. Don't know what made me do that, but I did. So it's just kind of a random thing. And who'd have thunk it that Bill Gullickson would have outpitched Mike Scott, but of course he did. So that's it from here. Hope everybody has fun doing whatever activity as far as a board game that they enjoy, hopefully over the July 4th weekend. If you're not going out anywhere, you get to stay home and roll some games on the game of your choice. And that's probably what I'll be doing because I'm not traveling anywhere. And I may or may not have yard work to do. I don't know. But I definitely plan on getting in a few games and maybe pulling out some of the games I haven't played in a while and doing a couple of one-off games. But also at the same time getting my Atlanta Braves History Maker Baseball season back on full swing. So, hope everybody has a wonderful and safe July 4th weekend. And we'll catch everybody down the road.